2024 is shaping up to be a pretty abysmal year for Disney as far as the box office goes, and I wouldn't even necessarily say that that's because the movies look like they're going to bomb, but just for the simple fact that they're not really releasing anything of the speak of next year. This article from Variety is talking about some of their Marvel releases, but a lot of these delays that they're experiencing now pretty much affect most of their major tentpole franchises. But I'll just start with Marvel, but I'll get into on those other ones in a little bit. Marvel delays Deadpool 3, Captain America 4, and Thunderbolts in post-strike Disney release shakeup. Now, the strikes are a contributing factor to this, like it says in the headline on this article. But at the same time, there are a lot of delays, like Captain America 4, for instance. It said that there's been a lot of extensive rewrites on that because they weren't happy with how things are going. So they're trying to fix errors in that or things that they don't think is working out. And the strikes are just kind of a convenient excuse to delay it, much as similar with the Snow White remake too, but I'll get more on that in a little bit. So when talking about Deadpool 3, the comic book threequel has vacated its May 3rd, 24 release date and is now set to hit theaters July 26, 2024. And you got to keep in mind, The Marvels is going to be released this weekend in theaters. So after that's ran its course in theaters, the next Marvel project that's going to be released theatrically is Deadpool in July. So, I mean, that's a pretty big gap of not having anything Marvel related. Of course, in recent months, executives at the studio, including Bob Iger and Kevin Feige, have said that they want to try to reduce the amount of bloat when it comes to Marvel projects and hopefully alleviate superhero fatigue, as they call it. But I don't think this is the method that they imagined when they were saying that. I mean, I think it shouldn't be to the point where like they're basically being forced to delay everything and reduce how much content because the strikes and other economic factors like that. I mean, I think they should be more of a creative decision instead of just being forced. But I mean, if this is what they have to do in order to reduce the amount of content, then fine. But I mean, even then, like one movie in about 9 months, that's really not the best thing to do. In one of several moves that Disney announced on Thursday evening as the studio rejiggers its theatrical release date, Deadpool 3 is now claiming the slot previously occupied by Captain America Brave New World. And like I already said, that they're also delaying that because they're doing a lot of extensive rewrites on it, which has been pushed to February 14th of 25. And I don't think that's actually a good sign when they're releasing it in February, because usually in January and February, those are kind of like the dumping ground because it's after the holiday season when there's like the award movies coming out, but it's before the summer movie season. I mean, you would think this would at least be delayed until spring because you want to kind of ride that summer blockbuster movie wave, but releasing in February, I mean, at least to me, it indicates they don't have much faith in it, but I mean, I could be wrong. Additionally, Marvel's Thunderbolts has moved from December 20th, 24 to July 25th of 25. And its upcoming Blade reboot has shifted from February 15th of 25 to November 7th of 25. And this article from Screen Rant just kind of has like a nice little diagram right here about the changed up to the release schedule. And as you can see, yeah, Deadpool 3 is the only Marvel movie that's going to be released in theaters. But when it comes to some of their other major tentpole franchises, like their live action remakes and their Pixar movies, it's not looking too good on those fronts either, because this article right here talks about some of those delays as well. And this was from last week. Disney's 2 new 24 movie delays explain what it means for Pixar and live action remakes. So scrolling down to the article, it's kind of goes in a little bit more detail about what's happening entirely. But when it comes to like Elio, for instance, that's going to be delayed until 25 of, and that means the only movie that Pixar is going to be releasing in theaters next year would be their sequel to Inside Out, which we just got a trailer for that today, or at least the teaser for that today. And that's supposed to be coming out in June. So the only major movies that Disney's going to be releasing next year would be Deadpool 3, that's in that's in July, and then Inside Out 2, which is going to be released in June. So they're releasing their 2 major movies just like right next to each other. But also they have their live action remake of Mufasa, so the prequel to The Lion King. And okay, I still maintain that that's an animated movie, even though it's really well done CGI, but they call it their live action remake and it fits into that category. So, okay, fine. It's a live action remake of, or live action prequel to The Lion King, Mufasa. And that's being delayed until December of 24. And since it's being delayed so late in the year, it's possible that that could actually be further delayed into early 25 or maybe even spring or summer of 25. So in other words, there's a highly likely chance that Disney would only have 2 major movies from their major franchises released next year in theaters, which is not a good thing for them. But of course, I'm not saying that these are the only movies, because Disney does have other studios underneath their umbrella, so they can have other movies released in the year. But I mean, like I'm saying, these are just for like, as far as like their Marvel movies, their Pixar movies, and then their live action remakes. They're only going to have 2 that are scheduled to be released next year, possibly, with the likely though they have a third one scheduled, and it might be delayed again. So things are not looking good for them. But at the same time, there's also the cascading effect of the fact that a lot of these franchises also feed their Disney Plus platform. Now, they said at the earnings call yesterday that they still plan on being profitable for their Disney Plus platform by Q4 of next year. And with the way these delays are working out, where they're not going to have a lot of these major franchises feeding them, it's not looking like they're going to actually meet that goal. And I'm curious what's going to happen when the time comes and they aren't profitable, what they're actually going to say about that. And I mean, maybe they're going to do some creative accounting or something like that to try to make it seem like that they actually succeeded in their goals. But I really have my doubts on this. But at the same time, with the few releases at the box office, we're not going to see what they did this last year, where they lost over $1 billion because no one is going to see their movies. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Do you think this is ultimately going to help them, or is it going to be more detrimental to them for anything? I'm curious what people have to say about this. And if you like this video, make sure you click that like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.